Hi, my friends. Good morning. I forgot to put on lipstick. Oh well. Again, my personal mirror here. How are you doing today? Happy Monday. Another week, and one of those kind of weird weeks with a holiday in the middle of it. So I know a lot of people are out of town, taking family time, vacation time, getting out of the heat. That's a good thing when you live in Arizona. And so it's kind of a weird week, typically, and it's kind of a slow week for a lot of businesses. So I do have openings this week for Reiki or hypnotherapy. So if you're thinking of taking advantage of a little bit of time in a slow period, this is a great time to do it. So my name is Kerri Wade. I am a Reiki master and a certified hypnotherapist and a transformational life coach. And I am located in Chandler, just off the 202 freeway and Alma School Road. So anyway, super easy to get to. Anybody has any questions, of course, you can always message me directly on here. So today begins our 40-day mind fast and soul feast. And this is the writings from a book by Dr. Beckwith, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is the head of the Agape Church, Science of Mind Church in California. And just an incredible mentor and very dynamic speaker. And so anyway, I'm excited to delve into this. I've had this book for a while, quite a while. And it's one of those that it hasn't been the right time to read. So now is the time, though. I do feel that. Hi, Shelley. Good morning. You cracked me up yesterday or last night with your message from Scarlett. Shelley's little 3-year-old niece was staying with her, and so Shelley asked her if she wanted to learn how to meditate. And so they turned on my meditation yesterday morning, tuned in, and got in their position, and about 3 lines in, Scarlett says, "Okay, I'm done." Speed meditation, right? It doesn't take kids as long as it does us, I guess. So that was really great. Thanks for sharing that story, Shelley. So anyway, I'm just going to read the introduction to this book so that everyone kind of understands where this is coming from and what it's about. The science of quantum physics has forever dissolved our rational, 3-dimensional understanding of time and space, of energy and matter, and has proven that there are no random or accidental acts in the universe. Dr. Carl Jung's theory on synchronicity describes this principle, supporting the fact that holding this book in your hands is aligned with synchronous right timing. This is a book about how to arrive at profound inner fulfillment, but it contains no information on how to get what you think you need to be happy or how to improve relationships in this world of effects. This book's purpose is to usher you into a soul awakening. In tune with your soul nature, you will automatically demonstrate that realization of your oneness with God is the source of your supply, joy, and peace of mind. Good morning, Minty. One of the greatest spiritual scientists, lovers of God and humanity, has graced our world is Jesus the Christ. His life and teachings proclaim that he is not an exception. Rather, he is an example of how we are to live if we are sincere about our own spiritual enlightenment. An experience of Jesus's that speaks to my heart is described in the 4th chapter of Matthew about the temptation of Jesus. From a metaphysical viewpoint, the rite of purification Jesus underwent during his 40 days and nights in the wilderness proved him to be an enlightened being. He annihilated any sense of an egoic self, any sense of separation from the Godhead. Jesus knew he had the power to manifest bread to appease the hunger of his physical body, yet he claimed that he lived not by gross food, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. His mystical declaration indicated that he had lived directly from the life force that sustains the cosmos. His second temptation was an invitation to put on display his spiritual powers by commanding angels to appear and protect him from bodily harm. Good morning, Grant. Here he overcame the ego sense of false self-importance. Finally, during the third temptation to succumb to the allurement of owning worldly kingdoms, Jesus conquered the ego's hunger for materialism, the false sense of ownership of things belonging to this temporal world. Every number held a significance to the ancients, and the number 40 resounds throughout the Bible, specifically in connection with purification and spiritual triumphs. Jesus' 40 days and nights in the wilderness, Elijah fasted for 40 days, the great flood of 40 days and nights in which Noah was spared, Moses' 40 days and nights on Mount Sinai, conversing directly with God. And it took the Israelites 40 years from the time they left Egypt until they arrived in Canaan. Am I saying that right? Canaan. I now invite you to set your own personal intention for a similar sojourn in consciousness. For the next 40 days, ascend to the holy ground of your own being, where the true second coming of the Christ consciousness takes place. No longer will you wander in the wilderness of ignorance, drenched by the flood of the world's values, believing you are separate from God, seeking for satisfaction in sources powerless to give it. Instead, you will live your life from a new plateau of consciousness, steeped in the love and wisdom of the infinite. A little bit about printing in blue. So anyway, as you prepare for the first day of your journey, know that you are entering a sacred tryst with the Spirit. Find a quiet place. Calm the body and inwardly prepare your consciousness by affirming your openness and receptivity. Breathe and feel your heart center expand. With the inner eye of the soul, read day 1. Attune your inward ear and listen as the Spirit speaks to you in the voice of your own guidance system. Repeat this process throughout each day of the 40 days. Dear one, this is the beginning of your mind fast from the outer world and your soul feast at the banquet table of your innermost being. So this is really a soul journey. This is about spiritual awakening, which I think right now, with the energies and the things that are happening in our world, this is the time. This is the time we are awakening. And it's happening to a lot of people. And some people are fighting it because it frightens them. And others, like us, are embracing it. And we're allowing it to come. We're surrendering our own ego over so that we can feel that connection with our own source, with one another, with our world, and everything else that may encompass. So, are you ready? Are you ready to check this out? Day 1 is called The Soul's Organic Freedom. And there's a little quote here from Ernest Holmes. The divine plan is one of freedom. The inherent nature of man is ever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom, because freedom is the birthright of every living soul. Love that. So I would invite you, if you're in a place that you can and you're comfortable with it, maybe just close your eyes and just calm your body, calm your brain, and turn that music off because it's like kind of annoying me today. It happens. And just listen as I read this little chapter for day 1 of our 40-day mind fast and soul feast. There is a wise Zen saying, that says you cannot stop birds from flying around your head, but you can prevent them from making nests in your hair. As you begin to mature spiritually, you discover that although you cannot stop the world's chatter about lack and limitation from whirling around you, you can prevent it from lodging in your consciousness. How? Through meditation and affirmative prayer, the compass of your awareness develops the habit of continuously turning in the direction of the Spirit for intuitive guidance, wisdom, joy, peace, and love. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should deny that the noisy birds of limitation sometimes fly around in your experience, begging you to throw them some crumbs of your attention. What I'm saying is that by staying your attention on this changeless reality of your authentic self, you will experience an inner freedom from things that distract you from your awakened nature. There is a tendency in human nature to look at the external world for fulfillment that can only be found within. That which is merely external is powerless to satisfy the inner spirit. By reversing the searchlight of your senses and focusing your attention on that which is real, you will undergo a permanent shift in consciousness, which will requalify your entire experience. This day, set your intention to silently converse with the Spirit in the language of your heart. If it is peace that you seek, look first to its source residing on the altar within. If it is joy for which you long, commune with its source in meditation. If it is a sense of safety and inner security you want, practice affirmative prayer about your true nature of immortality and wholeness. Then, at the end of the day, you will see how you have met the needs of each moment with God in your consciousness. You will be free from the intrusion, clamor of mediocrity going on around you, and at last taste the freedom for which you yearn. Our affirmation is, I renounce any sense of being bound by habit, personal history, experience, or circumstance. I am free as spirit is free. As I was reading this, I was talking about, it's human nature to look to the external world for fulfillment that can only be found within. I was reminded of a story that Dr. Wayne Dyer would tell about how, being inside his house, getting ready to leave, but the lights go out, the power goes out. He drops his keys in his living room, and it's pitch black, and he can't find them. In fact, he doesn't even really look because it's pitch black. But he looks outside and he sees that there's a street lamp on outside. And so he goes outside and underneath the street lamp, and he gets down and he's looking for his keys. And his neighbor comes along and he says, hey, Wayne, what are you looking for? Wayne says, well, I'm looking for my keys. I dropped them. And so his neighbor gets down and he's looking around for his keys as well. And they're looking and they're looking. And finally the neighbor says, Wayne, exactly where did you drop your keys? And he says, well, I dropped them in my living room. As silly as that sounds, isn't that what we do when we're trying to resolve something? We go outside of ourselves looking for the answer, whether it's in books, in tapes, and videos, other people, when what it is that we're seeking is really inside. And so we just need to shine our own light on that answer within. So anyway, I think this is going to be a really cool little book, and I think the time is now. And I hope that you will tune in and join me every day for it. And gosh, it's a blessed Monday, so enjoy. I made a mention on my Facebook page yesterday of going to a party, a celebration of life for a very dear friend of mine who's been in my life for 40 years now. And it was very nice to see people that I haven't seen for a long time. Those of us still left here. From this original group of my Arizona family that were neighbors at the first condo complex where my mom lived when she first moved to Arizona. And, it was just a reminder that life is short and things don't matter as much as people. I always put people first. And I felt some real regret that I had not talked to them for several years. And they had moved to California when I was in Idaho. And other than an occasional little thing on Facebook, because they weren't really on Facebook that much, but it just brought it home to me how valuable my friends are and how much we need those relationships in our lives. So hug those that you love. And I got her right on cue. Our dogs, are they so intuitive or what? Look at this guy. And so he was out in the other room. So he's like, my mommy's upset. I gotta go help her. Thank you. So before he knocks over my camera, I will sign out today, and I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Yeah, I know Grant. Grant, you know Hilton too. He was a stellar person. He was just a wonderful man. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and I thank you and I bless you, and I can't wait to take this 40-day journey with you. I love you. Peace and blessings.